Hey, I'm Paul with B Pro, and welcome to Campaign Spelunking. So, full transparency, I thought that I had already recorded this. We're covering caves 42 and 46. Apparently, we didn't. So, that's exactly what we're going to go ahead and do in this video right now. So, LSP, this is a local service provider. So service is the name of the game. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, so what's cool is that, again, and I think this has shown up in previous episodes, where there's these old traffic sources, which used to be a third distinction between sequences and goals. It was basically how do people show up here. So yeah, there's some value in that, and now that's just broken images. So, but these are all pointing to the thing. So there was a initial visit form that people could submit, or rather, it's probably an internal form, and then we can ask them a survey. So looking at these campaign commandments, talked about this about a decade ago. Everything goes in a single line, either whatever direction you read in or whatever direction you see stuff. So in this case, it's all left to right because we're using, English. In the other half of the world, it would go right to left. It would make more sense. So there's the initial visit form, and there's nothing in here like we've seen in these early caves. There's not much there because it's all about the customer journey and the experience. So there's an initial visit, and then we ask them to take a survey. But of course, to get there, they have to click. So if they click to the survey, but they don't actually fill it out, then we want to follow up with them. That's where this notion of a hot survey shows up. Again, this model has nothing in it. Based on, I see the word patience here, so this leads me to believe that this is some kind of a medical thing. So this is probably a post-medical survey. So in this case, I would probably, if they haven't filled out this form within 30 minutes, send them a reminder to fill it out. Because it's a medical thing, I'd probably wait 30 minutes and then until a business day, and then give them that option. We can see that if they do the survey, they get a $25 voucher. And you'll notice that a bunch of stuff converges into this referral promotion idea. So we'll talk about that in a second. Let's actually go way deep. Oh, this is neat. Let's start at the back of this cave. So basically, there is a note template that somebody has scheduled an appointment because they're a referral. When I say note template, I literally mean like a red automation button. Bam! That's it. That's all you have to train your people to do. So in this case, if a referral has scheduled an appointment, which now, based on where we're at, temporarily, this is probably going to be either an appointment goal, maybe a tag-based goal, maybe an API goal. But 10 years ago, if somebody was a referral, you'd have to be like, yeah, they were a referral, they booked an appointment. And so that's where we're going here. So looking at the automation model, this is interesting. There is a redundant line. Why do I know it's redundant? And why do you now know it's redundant? Because it's cutting through a different sequence here. You can see that, yes, obviously, we'll talk about this later, but if somebody's in this sequence and then they schedule a referral appointment, everything needs to stop. But this sequence is explicitly pointing to this note template, which is technically redundant, I guess. If I were to delete this line, the functionality would still behave the same way. If this note was applied and I was in the sequence, because it's connected to the note in a way, it's going to go ahead and stop it. And then I guess for the orthodoxy of it, I'm not going to delete this line because that's how we thought, and we're trained to think back in the early 10s. So, okay, a referral has scheduled an appointment, and we know that a referral has been given to us. Just because somebody gives you the name and phone number, email, or mailing address, or whatever of their friend, that doesn't actually mean you have permission to at least email them legally. So, looking at this model here, this is almost, and I wouldn't recommend doing this now, but basically a referral comes in. If an email is in here, we email the referral, says, hey, your friend thought you might be interested in this. We're only going to send you one single email, but if you'd like to learn more about this thing, go click here. That's where they clicking and clicking and clicking. Because otherwise, this is a massive spam risk. Somebody else is giving an email that they don't own. So this probably, and again, most of these models have nothing in it. But if they're given permission, then the promotion can happen. Looking at the high-level idea here is that if you've been given permission, so let's say, Greg of MonkeyPod says, hey, you should reach out to Paul. Here's his email. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is cool. Thumbs up. You have permission to talk to me. I can give my phone number and say that, yeah, I prefer to book this via the phone. Otherwise, we even have this hot mechanism, which now, this is also redundant. Because the fact is that everything is coming out of this either phone submission, clicking to the phone submission, a referral submission, or the permission's been given. So this is technically redundant because this sequence points to here, which points to here, which points to here. And then this sequence right here is also redundant because if I give you my phone number, then you are here. So technically, I'm going to hold shift. This line and this line are redundant, and the model does not need them. But I'm not going to delete them because, historical fun stuff. So now let's go back to, I love how there's just a fragmented repeat visit. In real life, I would probably sandwich these between two things. I would have any purchase and then any purchase. And then in between it is just some operational stuff of like tag them as a paying client, whatever. If we're looking at the customer journey, then the repeat visit, actually it is going to happen here. Either they're going to show up again for another thing, or they're going to give us a referral, but we still want to make sure there's a repeat visit. So this is just kind of sitting here. And if you remember, maybe you don't remember, these conversations were all just envisioning it. Like, what could you do strategically to make this stuff happen? So yeah, of course, if somebody comes in for a repeat visit, we want to have an experience around that. Now, I would probably have an entire campaign around someone's first visit to their next visit. It may even have some sales pipeline stages of where were they. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this and get to the fun one, Icon 2012, the promotion of it. But just to sum it up, people show up, they do this initial visit, and then they give us their survey responses, and we give them a voucher to come back for a repeat visit. And then we're asking people to give us a referral, which this line, ooh, holding shift, and this line. I mean, they're not technically redundant because if I make it to the end of the post initial visit and I don't take the survey, who cares? Come on. Nobody really cares. Give us a referral. Or if they click to the survey and don't take the survey, who cares? It's not that important. They should still be asked for a referral. And then, of course, if they give us a survey, we want to deliver the voucher and then ask them for a referral. So that's where we're at. So let's see what this, because this is Clickin and Clickin. Let's see what this next cave looks like. Icon 2012 promotion. Let me zoom out real quick. Control minus, just to see what's going on here. All right, so I guess I'm gonna not talk about this only because I think that these are conversations. People showed up at the event, they wanted to talk about this new technology, and so we just modeled stuff out, which I'll zoom in, screenshot it. It's cool. Give us your friend's address, and if they buy, yeah, I don't even know what this is talking about. This is, but we see this hot address notion. We see this concept here of if they click but don't do the thing, we follow up with them. And then there's some other stuff here. So there you go. This is probably one of the first campaigns where we're actually seeing behavior from the database. Here's a couple of list of people's. Are you going to show up at the event? And if you say, yes, I'm going, which is what this link is, then we're sending an email immediately and swapping out some tags. This is fun. What tag? Attendee. And remove a potential one. Z Success Coach. I like to put Z in front of categories and things like that for the alphabetical sorting of it. Okay. But basically, it looks like anybody that I was coaching at this point in time in 2012, they were added to this series, and we sent them an email. I'm going to show up. So again, reducing the spam risk. The other thing, I'm actively coaching these folks. So if anything, let's double-click this. Yes, I'm going. What does this email look like? Look at how fantastic that is. If anything, this looks like I sent it the day of. Hey, icon's happening. I'm right here. I'm also at InfusionCon. Look at my hair. It was so short. It's probably going to ruin the green screen, but nailed it. So this is a very simple click-based promotion. You're on our database. Maybe you're where we're at. Are you there? Great. If not, we're not doing any follow-up. We're not doing any kind of whatever. We're just being like, hey, what's up? And then again, I think these are just sandbox concepts from whoever I spoke to at 2012. So maybe it's something like, yeah, let's talk about literary agents. Someone like Wendy Keller, where she's running some ad. People request information to be represented as a book agent, and then we deliver it to them. And then if they download it, then okay, this is interesting. So there's a distinction. So they download the PDF. That's great. Are they an existing customer or not? Because if they're not, then there's a little different follow-up than if they are. Or looking at, I think we're talking about like some Jeff Walker-y PLF video launches of like, here's a video, go share it, thanks, appreciate it, but then here's video 2 and then video 3. This is actually where we're going to start to pick up some momentum in campaign spelunking, because after these campaigns and episode 6 and beyond, we really start to get into the customer journey. So that's pretty much it. And in this episode, we have covered these 2 caves. And in the next 2 episodes, we're going to go ahead and cover these. So thank you for watching.